Alright, so a while ago I purchased this guitar, which is a Schecter Avenger Standard series. It's from like a recent series that got released in 2024, I believe, or this year or something like that. I did a review on it, or impressions or whatever, just talking about it and why I purchased it and all that stuff, right? And I did say in that video that I'll be modding it. I can't even say it. Modding it. Yes, that's it. And it's just basically just changing out the bridge pickup, and that's it, for something more high output, because the original pickups in this was low powered and cheap and all that stuff, right? So I did that. Took me a while to actually get off my ass and actually do it, and this is the result. So if you can see here, I know that the light is shining in this gloss finish, which is just one thing. I would say that the gloss finish is probably a big letdown in terms of if you want to film this guitar or whatever, but this is what I did. So I put in the EMG 81 from my other guitar, my Jackson guitar, into the bridge position. What I did is that because I just wanted it as a one volume guitar. So this is the volume knob now. I bought these small black plugs thing, and I put it in the ones that were originally with the volume knob and the pickup selector. This one fit perfectly, but I took the liberty of like super gluing it behind in the cavity here, just so it wouldn't pop out or whatever. This one is it was actually like the perfect fit for the hole, right? Because it's like flesh with the body and whatever. It's not super glued. So like if I or anyone in the future wants to put the pickup selector back in, they sure can. They just remove it and everything's fine. So that's what I basically did. That's the major things I've done to this guitar. Everything else, I just, because like I said before in that last video, I said that the action was quite high, so I adjusted all that stuff. So that's what I've basically done. And to be honest with you guys, I started noticing a few issues. When I put new strings on this, I have no idea what strings they put on recently. They'll either be like 10 to 46s or 9 to 42s or whatever, right? But in this one, I put on 10 to 52s because I mainly prefer those types of strings. Once I was like trying to set up, now like I said countless of times, I'm no luthier or guitar tech or what have you, right? So I'm just going by what I've learned on YouTube essentially. But what I did, right, because the neck itself it had relief to it, but it had too much relief. So what I did is that I tightened the truss rod so I could get it somewhat evenly straight, and then I put the strings on, adjust the action and what have you, see how much relief I got, and I got it pretty decently, although I would say that is still a little bit too much relief. But given that the issues that I had with it, I'll tell you why in a moment. Adjusted the height of the bridge, and yeah, that's like pretty much about what I did. But unfortunately, some things I ran into, which is something that I absolutely dread, is high frets, particularly on the what is it, the 14th right here. There's a lot of buzzing on this, and I found that for some reason the low E string is buzzing to hell, and it doesn't. And look, I checked like the relief, like how much relief it is. Nothing's touching it. I didn't do nothing with the nuts Nothing with the bridge itself, nothing like that. Regardless of where I play on the low E string, is continuous buzz, and it's even worse so if you get into those frets where I have like quite high and they keep on buzzing all the time. Also, I've been having this noise going on with the guitar. I had no idea what was up with it, and this was before I made this modification to it, where like there was some sort of ringing going on, and I realized that it was the pickup, this neck pickup. But I found out that like every time when I strum the guitar, the neck pickup would like tap on like the pickup rings or something like that, and it has this like really screeching noise or whatever. So what I did is that I lowered this pickup. There is still some noise, but it's not as bad as it was before. But I honestly thought it was like the bridge or something like that. I don't understand of like because of the issues with the buzzing on the low E string, and that it's constantly buzzing wherever I play on it. The sustain on the low E string is non-existent, and that kind of stuff really annoys me. Where it's like normal whatever, I don't know, it still really annoys me because there's literally no sustain to the low E string. It might be like a nut issue or whatever, but I don't know. I'll try to get it properly working. If I have to, file down the frets, the frets that are high, I will do that. But everything else in terms of the electronics, I mean, I've already put the EMG solderless wires together anyway before, so it was just a matter of unclipping and clipping them back in again. And one other thing about the tuners, I've stretched the strings as much as I can, done some playing. It did go out tune a couple of bits. I did stretch it some more and this and that. I'm still having tuning issues. I don't know whether it's I haven't stretched the strings as much. I mean, I've stretched them like a whole bunch of times over. There is something up with the tuners, but initially in the first video I did about this guitar, I was talking about I would leave the stock tuners on just to see how they are, because they seemed absolutely fine before. But now I'm starting to think regardless, there's going to be some tuning issues here and there. So that's the rundown of this guitar. I will play it in this next section of this video, like I always do. Feel free to tell me what you think in the comments and all that stuff, because I know some of you have the first time I talked about this guitar actually. Yeah, let's get right into the playing.